Okay, so what we want to do is talk about the strengths, rules, and desires document first. And the purpose of this document is for you to build what I call strength in your belief systems so that you could be a more effective representative of those belief systems to be able to bring them to other people. Because the reality is that your strengths are infinitely unique that compared to anybody that's ever been. And so, what I want you to become is strong in what you bring to anything, whether it's a family or organization or a relationship or anything. So, how we do this is we get understanding the concept of strengths rules. So let me just kind of illustrate this quickly because most people think strengths is about what I'm good at. When the reality is, it's more about what you believe in. It's more about what you think is right or effective or believe is effective. And so, what I want you to understand is your belief is 100% accurate for you. And then, because no one else in the world has that, then we need you to teach it to us because you're the only one that has it. Obviously there's a benefit to it if it's made a difference for you. So we start off by labeling them with rules or attaching rules to them. The most common strength that shows up in people's top five strengths is achiever. And to give you an example, does anyone here have achiever in the top 10 even or 11 or 12? So Marie's got it. Anyone else? No, just Marie? Okay. Not the most common in this group, but let's just talk about it. So I'm going to show you how this works. Marie, I feel like I've shown this to you before. I'm not sure. Um, so here's how it works. The rule, when a person has achiever high, the rule for them is that there must be benchmarks and finish lines for the things that matter most, right? This is why achievers can work hard and put in tons of effort. They can literally go from 7 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night and crash or whatever, or even keep going. But the problem that achievers have is that they get that effort gets wasted on something that isn't important, or even it gets um, taken for granted. There we go. That's a good word. Okay, so then that means that the achiever, the person achiever, believes this that there must be benchmarks and finish lines. If we're gonna do something that matters, we need to make sure that we're clear what's our end goal and what are our little goals along the way. Does that apply for you, Marie?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Because
it's go ahead.
if I don't have benchmarks to say we're gonna be working on this project, or we have company coming to clean the house. If I don't have, that's a very practical one.
Sure.
You can clean and clean and work all day. Like my daughter-in-law was saying about my son, is they had a party for New Year's Eve. We need to clean, and what does he do? He goes and cleans the garage in case somebody goes out there. She's like, no. So for me, I would say, what's the most important thing, and I'd break it down, and what's the most important thing to get done if something comes up. So if I don't have that, I feel frustrated because I never feel like the job is getting done.
Yeah. And that's got no meaning of whether or not the job is actually being done or what important is actually, it's got nothing to do with that. It's just like, well, this is my rule, this is my way, right? And so that's a rule that you stand for. Then you get to go like you just did right now. What are the benefits of that rule, right? What are not just the emotional benefits for you, but also what are the benefits for other people? When you're part of whatever the thing is, you're the one to be like, yeah, I'm the one that will set the finish line, set the benchmarks. And, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be some sort of reward or joy in that process. That's not what the point of it is. The point is that the achiever itself is like, this is the way it is. This is the way I believe it should be done. Now let me stand strong for that and teach it and help others. This is why I call Judgey strengths teaching strengths more than, you know, we'll call it accepting, which is learning or discovery kind of strengths. So achiever is judgy, but it's also very practical. Okay, so now you all kind of understand that. What I want you all to do is to take a look at your top three, okay, in this doc. Does anyone here not have this able to look at this document? By the way, if you can't, let me know. I can find them for you. But what I want you to do is look at your top three, and I just want you to look at the rule. Don't worry about the desire because we're not there yet. So just go to the rule, okay? of your top three strengths. And if you need help finding it, let me know. We're going to do this together. And if you've got all three, I'm going to have you share yours first, or next, I should say. Stephanie, you're not able to pull it up? Okay, so let's go with yours. What is your number one strength?
Harmony.
Harmony. Let's go to harmony. Okay. Now, I never force these onto people. I just say, this is what it is, but is that for you? Right. And then this is where you can kind of go and give nuance if you like. So when a person is harmony high, typically, the rule is peace and agreement should be valued. Is that true for you?
I mean, I'm okay with people having their opinions, but yeah. I mean, yes, I appreciate peace for sure.
Yeah, an agreement. These
Yes.
are valuable things. Like you almost say,
Yeah.
like, hey, peace and agreement's a valuable thing, and here's why. Would you say that's
Mhm.
true?
Yes.
Okay. So say that out loud. Peace and agreement should be valued. And I want you to say it in your own, like, kind of like certainty, even judgy way, right? Try that.
Oh, okay. Peace and agreement should be valued.
Boom. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Now, same tone. Let's go to your second strength.
To create
Wait,
okay.
number two
My
strength.
second strength is restorative.
Oh, brilliant. Let's go. Restorative, restorative. Okay. Here it is. Say this one out loud.
Problems should be fixed. And see, that's why I don't like a complainer. I'm like, okay, if you're going to complain about it, what are we going to do about it?
Okay. Right. There you
Let's
go.
get to
Brilliant.
work.
Let's keep tapping into Stephanie's judgy side. I love it. So, what's your third strength?
Harmony. No, I'm sorry, empathy.
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 All right,
Mhm.
perfect. Let's go. Here we go. And empathy, let's say this one out loud.
Feelings should be understood and honored.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it's true, right? So so you can feel it. These are the things inside of you you know are right. And you just want the whole world to get it. Yes?
Yeah.
But the problem is the whole world will never get it because the whole world will never be you.
Right.
So the problem you and the rest of us have when we're trying to teach the judgy sides of these strengths is that are people willing to accept it? And if they're not willing to accept it and I teach it to them, will they run away? And then I'm by myself screaming in a canyon, ah, feelings should matter. No one cares, right? So that's the concept is how do I teach these where people do this? They open their ears instead of this. La, 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 la. I don't want to hear it,
Hmm.
right? But in order for us to do that, we first have to just own it. Say it out loud, right? So what I want you to do right here, right now, feel very bold to go to your number four strength. And in your meanest, judgiest, most uplifting or positive or however you want, but your most stable and focused way. What is your number four?
Includer. Everyone deserves to feel included.
Number five. What's your number five?
Number five is connectedness. Everything is connected for a reason.
Number six?
A learner. Learning should always be happening.
Number seven?
Intellection. Things are deep and should be pondered.
Number eight?
Developer. People should be cheered on.
Yeah. Number nine?
Positivity. All things should be uplifting.
Number 10?
And input. Information and resources should be gathered.
Okay. What are you getting from this exercise?
I mean, that's totally me, completely and fully encompassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So didn't you just get a new job?
I did.
Yeah. So these rules are what you bring to that new job that I just gave you.
Hmm.
You can go to your boss and say, these are what I stand for. And I want you to know that while I'm part of this organization, I'm always either secretly or outwardly trying to do the best I can to bring the value of these rules to this organization in this combination. And you're going to have a lot of people who will go, well, that's me too, but that one, not so much me, right? Good, because you're all of them. What does that do for you?
I mean, it just allows me to go into a space and just be who I am
Yeah.
and try to bring everybody in.
Yes, even the ones who don't always want to be in, they're
That's
going to get
it.
invited
That's
too.
it. That's it.
If that's what I love about includers. You don't have to want to be included to be invited.
Right. That's right. So,
Because that's what you believe in, that's what you stand for,
mhm.
right? So my challenge to you is to do this with your top, let's say 13. You could do it with 14 and 15 too, if you're feeling it, right?
Okay.
If you're not feeling it, you don't have to. But somewhere between 11 and 15 is where this dilutes and starts to become the, like, not really honoring the principle of it, right? Is so if you put your rules, these are my rules for life, business, work, family. You know what's cool about this is you put this hat on and you don't change it. You don't be a different person with a different thing. You just adapt the rules to the thing. You don't change your rules. You adapt the rules. How does includer work in your home versus your work or if you go out and be a part of something else,
Hmm.
right? Okay, so Stephanie, kind of get an idea of, actually look at, well, when you get this document, you can do that exercise, but take a
Hmm.
minute and kind of ponder that concepts because you do have intellection and I think Marie has it as well. One of the things I've learned with intellection is how me, the activator, gets to be patient with the fact that you're not going to have immediate feedback on these concepts. You're going to need to take them, walk with them, mix them around and see how it works.
Hmm.
So that's my guide to you, or my challenge to you, is to take these rules for a walk and start asking yourself good questions like how different would my life be if I stood for these a little bit more than I do now?
Hmm. And
How,
apply to them day to day. Yeah. Or
yeah, how
apply
could this
them
be
to my day.
helpful?
Hmm.
And how can I help people with it? This is one of the reasons why I've learned how to apply these to like products you sell or services you provide, is for those of you that do that separately. Okay, so Stephanie, any other thoughts or questions on this before we move on?
No, but thank you for sharing all of that. Just because on top of my job, I have other things in the background that are coming up
Mhm.
where I'm teaching people. And so I feel like it's going to be really helpful to look at those and how I use them. So yeah, that'll be great.
I'm glad you brought that up because when you go from one thing to another, the energy of not being something and then suddenly having to be something here, or being something here and stop being that over here, that energy of that transition is extremely exhausting and makes doing whatever it is you do next harder. So, like if you spend 8 hours at work and then you go do a thing for an hour, if you take this hat off and try to be something else, that process will make doing that second thing almost impossible. What I want you to practice is being this at work or whatever. And then when you move to the second thing, it's a smooth transition. You're just bringing you to that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you just flow with no change. Like, okay, I got to put my mom hat on, or I got to put my business hat on, or I got to put my employee hat on. It's the same hat. It's the Stephanie hat. I got to put my Stephanie hat on, and that's it. Boom, works. Thank you for bringing that up, Stephanie. For take a minute here, breathe on this one. Anybody else that got to see that from the outside? What I'd like to hear your thoughts or observations on Stephanie's tone of voice, her body, her posture, the way she sounded, or even any thoughts on this concept in general.
I noticed with my strengths too, when Stephanie was reading off hers, there's some strengths in her top 10 that could be conflicting or they she can fight against. And that's the thing that I'm finding that I have to learn to balance because
Mm.
I sacrifice one for the other. And um, is but I was just noticing, I was like, wow, that kind of it can conflict with this, and these are in her top 10. These are her things. Um, so I guess maybe the next step is looking at the desire, seeing what she wants.
So again, great point. What were two strengths that you felt like could contradict it or could conflict?
On hers, I mean, I didn't write them down. I was thinking, wow, that that can conflict with that because, um, well, she wanted, there, which, like, well, when you should to fix things, complain, fix this, but then she has harmony high.
Okay. Well, let's look at that. Let's look at restorative and harmony. So, I agree with you that there are times where they can conflict unless we apply a simple perspective. So, I'll use a totally different example. It has nothing to do with either of you, so you'll understand it. There's a strength called discipline, right? Where if a person has discipline high, typically what they'll do is plan out their entire day by the hour. Imagine that. And everything's color coded. For those of you at discipline high, you'll be like, run, right? So, like color coded and strict. And when we're done with this, boom, we put it down and we move to the next. It's there for them, it's energizing, right? But then we look at another strength called adaptability, which is better off no planning whatsoever and just go with the flow. We're just going to see where the day takes me. I'm going to discover the next hour, 1 hour at a time. I'm going to figure out what today is going to be as I experience it, right? And for them, it's better to go with the flow. And so if a person had those two strengths high, you might go, oh my gosh, how does that work? That sounds like they're conflicting. When the reality is there are plenty of people that have those strengths, both of them in their top 10 or even top five. It is possible. So then your first thought is like, well, how? How can a person be so structured and still go with the flow? And the answer is in the order of the strengths. So that means that each strength is in a specific order. The rule is also in order too. Just to kind of help you understand, the way the algorithm works is Gallup had you take, I had to read an 88 page, right, this 82-page report on how the algorithm works. Amazing stuff. It's all numbers, but the point of it is how it places a strength at one versus two and three and so on. And that's the uniqueness, right? So if a person were to have discipline and adaptability, then the question is not whether, if they can handle both. It's actually what order do they do them? And so now we'll come back to you, Stephanie, and we'll say, okay, well, wanting to fix things, but also wanting harmony. Let's look at the order first. Where is restorative in your strengths?
So harmony is first, restorative is second.
So harmony first,
Hmm.
restorative is second. Okay.
Correct. Hmm.
So now that we know this order concept, I bet Marie, you're already figuring it out. When it goes in that order, it makes perfect sense. And there is no confliction. There's only, cooperation, if you will. So if harmony goes first and then restorative goes next, then first, the rule is let's go back to the rule. Let me read the rule out loud. Peace and agreement should be valued, right? That means that, like, let's get in agreement. Let's get an understanding of what it is we want, right? Then fix what's broken. Not at the same time, like one and then the next. So your order of your rules are let's get an agreement, then fix where we're not in agreement. Does that resonate for you, Steph?
Yeah, it does. Hmm.
See, if we were to switch those, now feel that, and you're going to immediately go, You're going to like, I'm like, no, we're going to switch them. You're like, no, you can't. Because if you do, then you mess up the way I love to do things.
Mm.
That's why the order is so important. You can feel it like, no, Eddie, don't you dare, because I will reject it in every way in my body, right?
Hmm.
What? No, you don't go in and fix everything and then get everybody in agreement? No, that's the opposite of Stephanie. So we could take your entire strengths report and just change those two, and you become a different person. This is why I love the concept of infinitely unique, because this combination is different and you're a different person. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Marie, thoughts on this? Because you were the one that kind of brought up the concept of, we'll call it conflicting, right? How does this help?
Well, it helps because when it was it's been almost a year now I've been working with the strengths with you um and I would see the strengths in isolation, like, okay, these are my top 10, so they're equally, this is who I am.
Mhm.
And then I was thinking about why am I being triggered? I used to hate it when you say I love triggering people, because because it makes you find out what strengths are being violated.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to appreciate that. But I know that a lot of my life, people pleaser, harmony is 3 and belief is 5. And I would completely sacrifice, or hide my beliefs to get along with everybody, to make sure, and so I just felt like fake or whatever. And so I've been learning to find the balance. It's like, yes, they can get along. And it's like, we can agree to disagree. This is who I am. So so when I see something that feels like it's conflicting, like um, uh, when I'm teaching a yoga class and stuff, it's like, okay, this is their thing. I have to let this go. This is because it's my issue I'm having, uh, kind of thing, and I'm teaching them. So, but when I saw hers, to me, it really stood out. Like, we need to fix. You just fix it, because I know those people are like, quit complaining, just fix it. But then she had harmony high, and I was like, that doesn't even go together. But now I see how it does.
And it works perfectly. So, it's fascinating you brought up the triggering thing. I'm going to briefly go on that one, and then we're going to move on to the last piece. So, the reason why I enjoy triggering people is the same reason doctors, when you go and say, my stomach hurts, they start prodding and poking, and they just basically say, tell me where it hurts. Or when you go to if you go to like a really good massage and they just kind of like, where does it hurt? They always want to go to where it hurts because that's the clue to the problem. It's not the problem, it's the clue to the problem. And the problem, right, as Stephanie put it out earlier, needs to be fixed. Gotta fix it. So, in order to do that, I got like the best way I can do that is to say something that makes someone go, hey, wait a minute, I don't agree. Yay, let's talk, right? Let's talk. I want to hear it. And I'm grateful that I can set that up in an environment like this, which works. So, let's go to the last piece, and then I want to show you all one more document. For those of you that are maybe selling a product or a service, and you want to do videos. Now, when I say videos, it doesn't mean you have to be on the camera. That that world has changed. So, faceless video content has actually done just as well, sometimes even better than content with your face on it. So, what I'm sharing with you is not about your face. It's not about face at all. It's just about what messages are being conveyed. And so if we take these rules and we apply them to the products you say, sell or offer or provide people, this document here is going to translate that into the products you offer. So think about something you sell. Don't try not to think about all the, like if you like, and I know Marie's with doTERRA, you got like 7 million products. Think of one product inside there that you genuinely love. You don't have to tell me which one. Just think about it for a second. And one of the reasons why you love this product is because it honors at least 2 or 3 of your top 10 strengths rules. It helps you get a result that you want because right, it's in alignment with your rule, which is why you love it. When you've discovered, oh, it helps me do that. So what I did was I created this simple question you can ask for each and every one of of the strengths, starting with your, let's say, number five. Marie, your number five strength is, remind me,
Belief.
belief. Okay, brilliant. So when it comes to belief, it's such a complicated strength, but when it comes to belief, what is a core value you have that your, a little typo there, that your product really honors for you? There's a core value. My guess is, because I've known you for so long, it is something about purity or organic or clean, is my guess. Knowing you, just to help you understand where I'm going with this. But is that true, or is there something else?
It's the science behind it. It's proof.
Backed by science,
Yes.
proven, right? It's not my opinion. This is proven, right? Okay. Now,
It's a constant. Yeah.
okay. So then we go to the strength rules for video marketing for messages. So when you're talking about it, whether you're doing a video about it or a training about it or whatever, or a course about it, I only call it video marketing because this is what I was super into at that time. But if we go into belief, then you can say, we should, like you could tell people, like we just demonstrated earlier, we should stand strong for the values that we believe in. Something that helps me stay committed to my truth is using this product because it's backed by science, right? And then everything has dot, dot, dot because you just fill in the blank here, you know. Okay, does that resonate?
Yeah. Yeah. It's finding the words sometimes is hard. Because,
Yes. This is one of the things I'm so grateful for Gallup. They gave us the words. They gave us the words. Thank you. Because I felt this for so long and couldn't articulate it. Okay. So let's say you're doing a training in front of a group and you're doing a presentation. You say, you know, one thing that I believe in, I believe that we should stand for our beliefs. We should stand for the things that we believe in that we know are true, right? We should stand strong for the values that we believe in. And you can even look around the group. I bet you all have values that you believe in, something that nobody could ever shake you off the tree from. No one could ever push you around with. You just are firm. And I want you to think about that because something that helps me stay committed to my truth is focusing on things that are proven and science backed, that I know for a fact work, and I have seen it work with thousands of people. So everything I'm going to share with you tonight is only that. At no point will I share something with you as theory, right? You can look them in the eye and you can say that. And when you say that, because it's your strength, you're going to say it in a way that's very authentic. See, I can't say it that way because it's not my strength. I'm just kind of I'm sort of pretending, it's not going to sound it will sound so much better when you do it because it's your strength. All right. So I want you to understand this concept. Um, so I want to get Stephanie or anybody else's opinion on this, but Marie, does this help? Does this give you a thought of how you want to do things going forward?
yeah, because especially in this industry, there's a lot of opinions, a lot of people just trying to make money for themselves and not care about results, not care about what happens to people. And and so if I stay in my belief instead of arguing with this and that, I'm the harmony part's like, okay, well, share with me, the science, or maybe you do have a better product, or maybe you do, share with me. And if they can't, then I go, okay, I don't need to pay attention to this. It just keeps me in my lane. And then I realized that person is not for my relationship builder. That person is not for me. So I need to stay over here.
Awesome. Okay. Stephanie or Susan, any thoughts or feedback on this concept? Questions even? I know it's intense, but I wanted to make sure if you had any feedback on it. I'd love to hear it.
Well, for me, I have 7 accepting strengths. So to be in that judgy rule place is hard for me.
Mhm.
But when I look at what you're doing and how you're putting it out, the rules, It's like, oh yeah, that's really who I am. It's, and I did all 13 of them. And it's like, yeah. So um, it's interesting.
Have you
It's
ever been around
interesting.
somebody that just agrees with everything?
No,
Uh,
no,
somebody who just,
because we're all unique, you know?
well, I mean, like outwardly agrees, and maybe not internally agrees, what I mean, but like outwardly, yeah, okay, sure, and then they just kind of, they don't provide any resistance whatsoever. It's always, yeah, sure, that's good. Yeah. You start to feel insecure around that person because you're like, I don't know if this doesn't feel right. There's got to be somewhere where we have conversation or nuance even to opinions, right? Being like they call it yes men, right? Being around a yes man. It's not helpful. We need perspective. And everyone has their rules, which is their perspective that we need. And so we need you, even though you have as many accepting strengths you have. I have six in my top 10, six accepting strengths. And by the way, in case you're wondering, if you go into the app, this is, it's supposed, so far it's done it really well, but you can go into the app and let's talk about the app briefly. In the app, you go on the main dashboard, and down here at the bottom, you'll see right over here this concept called the one sentence. So there's a whole training on it. You can click learn more and you can understand how it works and what to do with it. But if you look at these concept of accepting, judgy, accepting, whatever, you can watch a short video on it. So if I click on judgy, you'll see a little 6-minute video on what is the judgy, right? What is that? What is the judgy strengths? There's also a materials, well, not on that one, but so there's a video you can watch, 6 minutes long, that kind of walks you through what is judgy and why is it so important and how do we use it. Um, and so once you understand judgy, you'll understand that all strengths have their judgy side, right? It's just a matter of which one do we begin with. So even connectedness says all things happen for a reason. Ugh. You can't convince me otherwise. All things happen for, look at Marie smiling. I knew it. All things happen for a reason. Stop trying to tell me that things are just happening out of random. It's not right. They happen for a reason, right? And so that's we'll call it the judgy side of connectedness. And what we want you to do is stand up for them so we can get your take, right? It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's what's your side. Does this make sense? Does this help? My hope is that you all that are watching this, right, especially you all three here that are here, stand stronger today. Stand firmer in your beliefs because they do help you. So what everyone else around you needs to know is, okay, well, if it helps you, how could it help me? And you're the only one that could do that. You're it. Like you, Stephanie, you're the only person that I know of that could help people understand the concept of let's get into agreement and then fix what's wrong. How does that work? What does that look like? Well, first we do this and then we do that. And when you're done, this is what's going to happen. Right? And you can stand firm in that. I'll back you up. If I need to tell everyone in the room to shut up for a minute and listen to what Stephanie has to say, because none of you have what she has. So listen to her and you will benefit. Don't and you won't. That's why I love Judgy. It's where we're our best. It's where we're our most, and to me, most valuable, especially when the storms come. And I didn't say if the storms come, when the storms come. Your stubborn views on things is where people can find shelter, comfort. Okay. Thoughts, friends, before we wrap up for today?
No, but thank you for sharing all of that. It's fascinating. I'm excited to go chew on it a little bit
Yeah.
and see where
Chew
it
on it like a
applies.
good juicy piece of bubble gum that never
That's
runs out of
it.
flavor.
Right.
I really like
Okay.
it. I really like it when we have, people on here that can open up and because I not just look at my strengths, but seeing, how Susan and Stephanie and just seeing how far Victoria's come. Um, and I think she probably needs to do this video marketing thing a little bit, dive into this and really give her more confidence. But she's
Sure.
got it. It's just I just learned so much from listening to you helping other people. I think it's really valuable.
When it comes to the judgy side of strengths, I want to awaken the strength in people. And I feel like this is one of the fastest places to do it. The problem with judgy, the word judgy, is people think I mean you going around and yelling at people and telling them they're doing things wrong and they need to do it differently. Yes, of course that's judgy, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is that is a what I would call a poor way of applying the judgy strength. The best way to is to say, hey, do you feel like you're getting what you want? And when the person or if the person says, no, I don't feel like I'm getting what I want, and then you can go, I have a perspective that might help you only if you'd like to have it. If not, it's totally cool. But if you'd like to have it, this might help you actually get what you want. And that person can say yes or no. And if that person says yes, say, okay, sit down, let me share with you. I have blank strength, which means I believe. And that's why I've always done things this way. And if you'd like, I can show you a cool way that you can do it with your own way. And at that point, then do you see what I mean? It's a teaching concept. Think of it, the difference between like Gandalf the Grey from, and I know you know what that means, Stephanie. And all intellectual people know Lord of the Rings. But if you think of it, Gandalf the Grey versus the Ladies of the View, you know what I mean? It's different.
Hmm.
One's gonna connect with me and help me up level my mind, but give me an opportunity to work on it myself. I got to work through it. You can feel this. Like you're even thinking, Eddie, this is a lot. I'm gonna have to work through this. Great. Work through it. Come back to the next call. And you don't need to be done. Keep working through it. Versus the ladies of the view concept, which is you got to do this and yeah, rawr. It's they're both judgy, but one's more effective than the other, right?
And the way I view Judgey's strengths is like in yoga we have everything. Your foundation is your feet. If you and so I see that is a grounding. Those are your grounding strengths because everything's built on them, and you can always land on them. You push off from them. Everything, the energy for the accepting strengths is pushed through with the judgy strengths. It just they elevate the accepting strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll talk about this at our next meeting if you all like. But the reason why the accepting strengths are so valuable is because that's where we discover more rules, right? That we go, oh, I was not sure about it, but now that I've gone through the work to discover, I've now developed solidifying beliefs that I now have a judgy desire to teach from. And it's fascinating for those of you that took the strengths assessment, let's say 5 or 6 years ago, and are thinking about doing it again, you're going to notice the shift in judgy strengths. You're either going to have more or less. And this will help you understand if you're more in a desire to teach or more in a desire to discover something new to teach. Which is when I first took the strengths assessment, I had seven accepting strengths in my top 10. Now it's 6, which to me means I've learned a few things that I can't be talked down from anymore. Whereas before I was curious, now I know, right? Now I know. And so slightly more increase in judgy strengths. You'll hear it in my voice. You can't shake me off the tree that you're amazing, you're valuable, and the world needs you. I'm sorry. I have proof now. So, all right. Thank you all so much for being here. This was awesome. I'll post this recording because I feel like this was really valuable and helpful. I'll post this recording in the group so people can understand more of these judgy concepts and use these tools. So with that being said, ladies, have a wonderful day. Stand strong in your strengths. The world needs you to do that. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please message me. If there's anything in the app that you would love to have that would make you go, this is the greatest app ever, message me. And I can go in there and I can design these things very quickly. So that being said, have a wonderful day, friends, and we'll see you all on the next call.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good
Welcome.
one.